What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Mello, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Wednesday, September 16th, 2015, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mello, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. You can also follow us on our new Instagram page at The Entertainment Report. The women of The View have fun mocking some of the Miss America contestants on Monday, but their condemnation of Miss Colorado has sparked outrage in the nursing community. Instead of singing for the talent portion of Sunday's beauty pageant, Kelly Johnson from Windsor, Colorado walked on stage in her nurse scrubs and delivered a unique monologue detailing her experience in the medical profession with an elderly Alzheimer's patient. While it sparked sympathy with many viewers of the ABC competition, the following morning Michelle Collins, Joy Behar, Raven Simone, and Paula Ferris mocked her performance. Collins said, "The talent, though, I have to say, the woman who won sang opera and she was incredible, really good. But then there was a girl who wrote her own monologue, and I was like, turn the volume up, this is going to be amazing, let's listen." She came out in a nurse's outfit and basically read her emails out loud and shockingly did not win. It was hilarious. Behar asked Collins, "Why does she have a doctor's stethoscope on? She helps patients with Alzheimer's," which I know is not funny, but I swear you had to see it. The nursing community definitely had not seen the funny side of the comments, sparking the hashtag Nurses Unite in response. One disgruntled Twitter user wrote, "Reminder to the ladies of The View, my nurse stethoscopes may help save their lives one day. Hashtag respect nurses." Another wrote, "Ever wonder what 3 million pissed off nurses look like?" Miss Colorado ended up being the second runner-up to Miss Georgia Betty Cantrell, who won the national title, despite being mocked herself on social for not understanding a question about Tom Brady and a deflated gate. A convent that Katy Perry is battling with a restaurateur over the right to buy will remain vacant, according to a court ruling Tuesday. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge James Chalfant accepted an offer for entrepreneur Dana Hollister, who wants to use the convent from a hotel and a restaurant project to make the payments to a small order of elderly nuns, while lawsuits over the sales of their former house are pending, according to the Associated Press. The businesswoman will continue to pay $25,000 a month plus maintenance expenses on the Hilltop Convent, which Los Angeles Catholic Archbishop wants to sell to Perry. Hollister has previously agreed to purchase the property from the Sisters of the Most Holy and Immaculate Heart of the Blessed Virgin Mary for $15.5 million, but Chalfant voided the sale in July, citing it was clearly invalid. However, the Archdiocese argued that its own agreement to sell the convent to Perry for $14.5 million in cash is legally sound. Despite her desire to buy the property, the Roar singer, who did not attend Tuesday's hearing, is unwilling to pay the high rent price. Judge Chalfant said, "This property is a nice property, but it's kind of a white elephant property. It needs work." The Sister of the Most Holy and Immaculate Heart of the Blessed Virgin Mary have owned the property in the Los Feliz neighborhood of Los Angeles for more than 40 years, but they haven't lived there recently, and only 5 elderly sisters remain alive. The next hearing in the case is scheduled for October. Donald Trump was greeted by a small army of protesters Tuesday as he arrived for a speech at the USS Iowa in the San Pedro neighborhood of Los Angeles, chanting "No fascists, no KKK, no racists, USA," and "Donald Trump is a racist." About 1,000 protesters took part in the boisterous rally at the waterfront promenade in front of the battleship. Protester Danny Mariquez told the rap, "My dad actually immigrated from Mexico. No human being is illegal." Protester Pan Sinajam, who's a stay-at-home mom, said she brought her children to the demonstration because she's against everything Trump stands for. Shendenham said, "Donald Trump is a misogynist bully. His rhetoric is just hate spewing. He says nothing of substance, and the truth is, since we are not Native Americans, we are all anchor babies." Trump arrived in San Pedro to deliver his speech just before 6 p.m. While the former Celebrity Apprentice host teased that he would lay out his views on national security, his speech was short on specifics, although he did take several jabs at the nation's undocumented immigrants. He said, "You have now found out what illegal immigration is all about, and I'm so happy I'm the one who brought it to the fore. It's a big problem. There's tremendous crime, tremendous drugs going to Chicago, going to New York, going to LA, going all over our country. So the drug pours in and the money pours out. Not a good deal." Then Trump blasted the Obama administration for failing to secure the U.S.-Mexican border. He says, "We get the monies, we get the drugs, they get the money. The drug cartels are going wild. They cannot believe how stupid our government is." Trump went on several other tangents during the speech, including the country's relationship with China and Japan, as well as President Obama's controversial Iran nuclear deal, calling it one of the dumbest deals and weakest contracts I have ever seen of any kind. But as he bashed the country's current leadership, he was nearly drowned out by the crowd of protesters, which continued to grow. State Senator Isidore Hall told the Rap, "We have the largest population of immigrants in the nation right here in California. And California thrives because it was undocumented immigrants and immigrants who helped make California the largest and most successful state in the nation." The louder Trump spoke, the more the crowd inched closer to the USS Iowa, and the 1,500 to 2,000 people who purchased tickets to hear the presidential candidate speak. The group chanted in unison before they finally packed up their signs and left. "Racists go home, racists go home." Next up for Trump, the second Republican presidential debate at the Ronald Reagan Library on Wednesday in Simi Valley, California. Amazing Grace, the documentary that Aretha Franklin successfully blocked from screenings at this year's Telluride and Toronto Film Festival, will not be shown to the public of film executives in the next 30 days. The producer of the film, Alan Elliott, has agreed to a 30-day injunction that will prevent the documentary, which features footage from Franklin's 1972 gospel concert, from being shown commercially. Amazing Grace was scheduled to screen at both the Telluride and Toronto Film Fest until a lawsuit filed by Franklin to block its premiere. A federal judge in Denver ruled on September 4th that the concert footage of the singer shot by Sidney Pollack in 1972 could not be shown without Franklin's consent, forcing the filmmakers to cancel screenings at Telluride, Toronto, and the upcoming Chicago Film Festival. The Soul Diva filed an amended complaint in Colorado federal court on Sunday to broaden her legal efforts to block Elliott from screening his documentary Amazing Grace after reports that he and WME had secretly shown the film to studio executives offsite at the Toronto Film Festival. Franklin is seeking a declaratory judgment from U.S. District Court in Denver that would require Elliott to obtain her permission before any public screening or commercial use of the movie, and specifically cited efforts to find a distributor for the film. In Sunday's amending filing, Franklin's attorney claims that the screening was done without Ms. Franklin's permission or knowledge and was contrary to Mr. Elliott's counsel's specific recommendations, and cite a promise by Elliott's attorney not to show the film publicly. The complaint seeks jurisdiction in Colorado by noting that Elliott and WME agents traveled to Colorado for the planned screening at Telluride, attempting to generate interest in a distribution deal for the film. The family of Amanda Peterson, the Campbell Love actress who died in July, claims that she was raped at the age of 15. Peterson was found dead at age 43 in her Colorado home on July 5th. Her parents had speculated that sleep apnea was responsible, but the Will County Coroner's Office confirmed earlier this month that she died from an overdose caused by accidental acute morphine toxicity. Her parents have now revealed that a sexual assault 3 decades ago, around the time that she was cast in the hit Patrick Dempsey romantic comedy, changed their daughters forever. James Peterson said in an episode of The Doctors that aired Monday, "After that, she became more defensive, less trusting. Some of the spark was gone." Mother Sylvia contended she just felt so ashamed. She didn't want people to know. I think it affected her forever. Her parents say they didn't find out about the assault until 2 years after the incident, but Amanda didn't want to press charges, and instead she wanted to get therapy. Peterson later fell into a long battle of substance abuse and was reportedly arrested 4 times over the past 2 decades in her home in Greeley, Colorado. Most recently on a May 2012 DUI and drug paraphernalia charge. Booking photos of the actress was taken in 2000, 2003, and 2005 showed a significant departure from the fresh-faced beauty who played opposite Dempsey, and one photo even showing her with 2 black eyes. Her sister Anne-Marie said, "I think for her to carry the secret, this burden of the assault must have been just overwhelming." Jerry Cassell is apologizing for his 9/11 themed wedding reception, even though he claims it wasn't his fault. The Devo co-founder took to Twitter to offer his apologies for Friday's offensive nuptials and to claim that he was, quote, set up. The musician wrote, "Deep apologies for all offended. This is a real explanation, and it's not what you think. Surprise cake and pics to TMZ was a setup." Cassell suggested that there was more information to come, ending his message with, TBC. However, Cassell's Twitter account has remained silent since the apology posted Monday night. TMZ first reported on the wedding reception, which featured a cake modeled after the Twin Towers, with the faces of Cassell and his new bride, Krista Knapp. The reception took place Friday, the 14th anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks at the Michael Restaurant in Santa Monica, California. It also featured box cutter party favors and table-setting cards that bore an image of a box cutter with Cassell and his new wife's name engraved on it. Cassell says on Monday that a friend of his got the cake and the place settings for him as a joke, thinking that the musician had a dark sense of humor, though Cassell claims that the fact that he was getting married on 9/11 was a surprise. Cassell says, "One of the friends surprised me with the cake and the place settings, and it's because they thought it was really macabre that I was getting married on 9/11. And I said no, it was just arbitrary." NBC is developing a revival of the series Heart to Heart, which would recast the central Robert Wagner and Stephanie Powers characters from the original as a gay couple. Sony Pictures Television is set to produce the project with Carol Mendelsohn. The original Heart to Heart starred Wagner and Powers as a wealthy couple who serves as amateur detectives. The new version, which would feature a gay couple, one a private investigator, the other a lawyer, is being written by Christopher Fife, who is executive producing with Mendelsohn. NBC has given the project a script, commitment, plus penalty. The original Heart to Heart ran for 5 seasons on ABC. Charlie's Angels is getting a new shot at the big screen again, this time with Elizabeth Banks involved. Sony is rebooting the franchise about 3 attractive women who work as private detectives and is in negotiations to hire Banks to direct the new movie. Banks will also produce with her husband and producing partner, Max Handelman. The studio and producers will begin a search for a writer to tackle the reboot. Angels, a hit television series in the 70s, centered around 3 detectives played by Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, and Jacqueline Smith, who work to solve cases for a mysterious benefactor named Charlie, who also joshing with their sidekick Bosley. At first known as Jiggle TV and not taken too seriously, the show became a breakout hit and the actresses' household names, and made the actresses' household names. Fawcett soon left and was replaced by Cheryl Ladd. Tanya Roberts also joined the cast in later seasons as ratings were declining. The property got an infusion of female empowerment energy in its big screen treatment in 2000 when Drew Barrymore, Karen Diaz, and Lucy Liu starred in the action comedy hit directed by Meg G. Bill Murray played Bosley. The film was followed by a bloated and not well-received sequel, 2003 Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, that effectively killed the movie franchise. An attempt to revive it as a television series in 2011 only lasted 4 episodes. Banks, who has demonstrated a gift for comedy and drama as an actress, has also shown an affinity for female empowerment projects as the steward of the Pitch Perfect franchise. The movie focused on an old girl a cappella group that takes on male rivals. Banks made her featured directorial debut with Pitch 2, one of Universal's mass summer hits. The movie, with a budget in the $30 million range, opened to almost $70 million domestic, giving her the second largest opening for a female director. The movie has made almost $184 million domestically. The movie has opened up a new career chapter for Banks, that of a director. She is already attached to direct the young adult fantasy Red Queen at Universal. Although Universal is putting together the pieces for Pitch 3, her involvement as director remains unclear. Woody Harrelson is now one of the leading human roles in Fox's latest Planet of the Apes installment. Matt Reeves, who directed 2014's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, has returned as the helmer for the new project, which is titled War of the Planet of the Apes. Mark Baumbach is also back as screenwriter and Chernin Entertainment as the producer. Dylan Clark is also producing. It is unclear who is returning to the new movie, which will continue the story of Caesar. The evolved ape was brought to life via motion captured by Andy Serkis. Plot details are being kept secret, but Harrelson will play a character called the Colonel. It was recently reported that Gabriel Chavarria would play one of the new characters, but insiders said his part is small. Harrelson is currently shooting shooting LBJ starring as President Lyndon B. Johnson and will be back on the big screen in the final Hunger Games movie, which hits theaters on November 20th. The actor is undergoing a resurgence thanks to the critical acclaim for his work on the first season of HBO's True Detective. Riding high from her summer hit Trainwreck, Amy Schumer will receive the Charlie Chaplin Britannia Award for Excellence in Comedy at the 2015 British Academy Britannia Awards presented by American Airlines. The awards from the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, Los Angeles, are scheduled for October 30th at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. BAFTA Los Angeles Chairman Kieran Brandt said in a statement about the honor, "In just a few years, Amy Schumer has established herself as a performer of great courage and discipline. With Trainwreck and Inside Amy Schumer, she has dared her peers to tackle the most difficult subject matters, but in the smartest and most entertaining way. As one of the most fearless, incisive, and socially engaged contemporary artists in the comedy realm, she is more than deserving of an award bearing the name of Charlie Chaplin." The talent whose popularity and cultural impact exemplifies the uniquely transcendent quality of excellence comedy. As previously announced, Meryl Streep will receive this year's Stanley Kubrick Britannia Award for Excellence in Film. Sam Mendes will receive the John Sillinger Britannia Award for Excellence in Directing, presented by the Great Britain Campaign. And James Corden will receive the Britannia Award for British Artist of the Year, presented by Booberry. TV and event production company Donut plus Dusted will produce the ceremony. Two more actresses have pledged to Neighbors 2. Nora Lum, known as rapper Awkwafina, and Clara Mahmood have been cast in Universal's comedy sequel starring Seth Rogen, Zac Efron, and Rose Byrne. The plot has been under wraps, but sources say Lum and Mahmood will be part of the sorority that will be led by Chloe Grace Moretz's character. Kiersey Clements and Beanie Faustine will also be members of the sorority, as the Hollywood Reporter exclusively reported. Dave Franco, Ike Barinholtz, and Lily Kogowski are returning to reprise their roles from the hit original. Nicholas Stoller is returning to direct the sequel based on the script by Andrew J. Cohen, Brendan O'Brien, Seth Rogen, and Evan Goldberg. Rogen, Goldberg, and James Weaver are producing Neighbors 2 through their Point Grey Pictures along with Good Universe. Cohen and O'Brien will serve as executive producers along Good Universe's Nathan Kahane and Joseph Drake. Eric Briers and Chloe Yellen will oversee the project for Universal, while Aaron Westerman is overseeing for Good Universe and Josh Fagan for Point Grey. Both Westerman and Fagan also will co-produce. The original Neighbors was a breakout hit in 2014, earning about $269 million worldwide. The sequel is slated for release on May 20th, 2016 via Universal. Lum, also known by the rapper stage name Awkwafina, she released her solo album, Yellow Ranger, in February 2014, featuring songs NYC Bitches and Mayor Bloomberg Giant Margarita. Lum, who also appears on the third season of MTV's series Girl Code, hosts a talk show on YouTube for astronauts wanted entitled Talk. Funnily enough, Mahmood previously starred on the ABC TV series The Neighbors, about a family of humans living in a community of aliens. She started off her career in the Val Kilmer thriller Spartan in the Unit, and most recently acted in 2-Bit Waltz. Comedy Central is staying the course with Larry Wilmore. Viacom-owned cable network has renewed The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore for a second season, the Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. The pickup will ensure that Wilmore's late-night series will remain on the air through the end of 2016. The news comes as Comedy Central is poised to launch the Trevor Noah era The Daily Show on September 28th. Both Noah and Wilmore, Comedy Central now has its election 2016 team set. For Wilmore, the renewal comes after he celebrated his 100th episode on Comedy Central, and the show has hit its stride with a focus on comedy and more serious commentary. That Nightly Show has hit its stride comes as good news, as Wilmore is poised to lose Jon Stewart as a lead-in come September 28th. Wilmore recently told the Hollywood Reporter, "It's definitely getting there. When you're first doing it, fear is guiding everything. It's amazing how that works. But after a while, in the last few months, I think we've really gotten into a nice rhythm, and we know what to expect." Russian President Vladimir Putin has no plans to meet British star Elton John to discuss gay rights in Russia, the Kremlin said Tuesday. This weekend, John told the BBC that he would like to meet with Putin to discuss the Russian president's ridiculous stance on gay rights. Dmitry Peskov, Putin's press secretary, was quoted as saying by Russian news agency TASS, "We are aware of John's intentions to have a meeting from media reports, but we haven't received any signals directly from Sir Elton John. Given that there have been many insinuations in the media lately, we're treating the information of that kind carefully." Observers interpreted the comments as a diplomatic jargon for saying the president wouldn't meet the singer. Speaking during a visit to the Ukraine, John said that he would welcome such a discussion, even though Putin may laugh behind my back or call me an absolute idiot, but at least I can have a conscience and say I tried. This is not the first time John has tried to raise the issue of gay rights in Russia with Putin. In January 2014, he said in the comments on his website, "I would like to welcome the opportunity to introduce President Putin to some Russians who deserve to be heard and who deserves to be treated in their own country with the same respect and warm welcome that I received on my last visit." During his live shows in St. Petersburg in November 2013 and in Moscow in December 2013, the singer condemned Russia's law against gay propaganda among minors, which is viewed by many as a way to crack down on the gay community in general. John was among the first few Western pop stars who visited the Soviet Union back in the late 1970s, when homosexuality was still considered a criminal offense. And now let's look back at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this day in 1977, celebrated soprano Maria Callas dies in Paris at the age of 53. Born in New York City in 1923 to Greek immigrants, Callas demonstrated her talent for singing at an early age. When she was 13, she went to Athens to study under the noted soprano Elvira de Hidalgo. Her first major operatic role came in 1947 when she appeared in La Gioconda in Verona. Acclaimed for her powerful soprano voice that lent itself to the difficult coloratura roles, she was soon appearing in opera houses around the world. Her talents made possible the revival of the 19th century bel canto works by Bellini and others that had not been performed for decades. In 1954, the Divine Callas made her American debut in Chicago in the title role of Norma, a performance she repeated before a record audience at New York City's Metropolitan Opera. Callas' stormy personal life was closely watched and exaggerated by the press, as were her professional walkouts and tiffs with rivals. The diva divorced her husband of many years after becoming involved with Greek shipping tycoon Aristotle Onassis, but he later left her when he fell in love with the widow Jackie Kennedy. In the 1970s, Callas' career rapidly declined, and she died in 1977. Also on this date in 1993, Frasier debuts. Frasier, a spin-off of the longest-running mega-hit sitcom Cheers, makes its debut on NBC. It would go on to air for 11 seasons and win multiple Emmy Awards. Frasier starred Kelsey Grammer as the erudite, snobbish Dr. Framer Crane, a radio psychiatrist who relocates from Boston to his hometown of Seattle following the breakup of his marriage. The main characters in Frasier's life are his father, Martin, played by John Mahoney, a down-to-earth retired cop, his younger brother, Niles, played by David Hyde Pierce, a psychiatrist who shares Frasier's taste for the finer things in life, his father's kooky caretaker, Daphne Moon, played by Jane Leaves, his radio show producer, Ross Doyle, played by Perpy Gilpin, and his father's dog, Eddie. Grammer, who was born on February 21st, 1955, studied drama at New York City's Juilliard School and began his professional acting career. In 1984, he made his first appearance on Cheers as the fiancé of one of the main characters, Diane, played by Shelley Long. Although Frasier Crane was originally supposed to appear on Cheers for a few episodes, the popular character became a permanent member on the show. Set in a Boston bar called Cheers, the show debuted on September 30th, 1982. Dr. Frasier Crane was one of the regulars who, along with Norm Peterson, played by George Wendt, and Cliff Clavin, played by John Ratzenberger, drank at Cheers, which was run by Sam Malone, played by Ted Danson. When the final episode of Cheers aired on May 20th, 1993, more than 80 million viewers tuned in, making one of the most watched last episodes in television history. Grammer went on to star in Frasier from September 1993 to May 13, 2004. After making an Emmy Award-nominated guest appearance as Crane on the 1990s sitcom Wings, Grammer became the only actor in television history to earn Emmy nominations for playing the same character on 3 separate shows. Grammer's other acting credits include a recurring role as the voice of Sideshow Bob on Fox's hit animated series The Simpsons. Most recently, he and Patricia Heaton co-starred as a pair of news anchors at a Pittsburgh TV station on the short-lived sitcom Back to You which was aired from 2007 to 2008 and was directed by Cheers co-creator James Burrows. And as your entertainment report for Wednesday, September 16, 2015, I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Mello. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mello, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Also follow us on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. Good night, and God bless you all.